Hello everyone, welcome to another episode of Mind Map. Today's topic of discussion is inequality. First of all, we will discuss about the introduction of the topic. Then we will discuss about causes of inequality, measuring inequality, effects of inequality and socio-economic inequality in India. First of all, moving on to the introduction of the topic. Economic inequality is the unequal distribution of household or individual income or wealth across the various participants in an economy. Such inequality is often presented as the percentage of income to a percentage of the population. The United Nations describes inequality as the state of not being equal, especially in status, rights, and opportunities. Now moving on to causes of inequality. Economic growth, when not evenly distributed to all sections of society, and there exists accumulation of wealth in a few hands. Inflation, as it affects more to poor than rich, aggravates inequality. Social factors like caste, rigidities, and gender discrimination promote inequality. Governance deficits in many remote areas due to geographical difficulties and lack of public sector spendings on social security, health and education. Now let's discuss about measuring inequality. The distribution of income in an economy is represented by the Lorenz curve, and the degree of income inequality is measured through the Gini coefficient. Lorenz curve. The Lorenz curve, that is the actual distribution of income curve, a graphical distribution of wealth developed by Max Lorenzen in 1906, shows the proportion of income earned by any given percentage of the population. The line at the 45-degree angle shows perfectly equal income distribution, while the other line shows the actual distribution of income. The further away from the diagonal, the more unequal the size of the distribution of income. You can refer to this image given below. Gini coefficient. The Gini coefficient, which is derived from the Lorenz curve, can be used as an indicator of economic development in a country. The Gini coefficient measures the degree of income equality in a population. The Gini coefficient can vary from 0, that is perfect equality, to 1, that is perfect inequality. A Gini coefficient of 0 means that everyone has the same income, while a coefficient of 1 represents a single individual receiving all the income. Now moving on to effects of inequality. Consequences of inequalities tend to produce social conflict among the social groups. Inequalities among ethnic groups have led to various ethnic movements demanding separate states or autonomous regions, or even outright secession from India. Northeast has been rocked by numerous such as ethnic movement, example by the Nagas. Religious inequality tends to generate feeling of exclusion among religious minority groups. Poor development indicators like IMR, MMR, low per capita income, lower education and learning outcomes at schools, high rate of population growth can be traced to existing socio-economic inequalities. High economic inequality is detrimental to public health care and education. This further affects the social cohesion and would also undermine the sustainability of economic growth. Now let's discuss about socio-economic inequality in India. First is areas of inequality. By and large, the discourse on inequality in India tends to center around disparities in consumption, income and wealth. However, the country is also marked by high levels of inequalities in opportunities. Second is factors affecting inequality in opportunities. An individual's class of origin, his or her household of birth, who his or her parents are, tend to have a significant bearing on his or her educational attainment, employment and income prospects, and as a consequence, his or her class of destination. Characterized by low levels of social mobility across generations, children born in disadvantaged households have a lower chance of moving up the income ladder. Third is India-specific findings of World Inequality Report. According to the report, India is now among the most unequal countries in the world. In India, the top 10% of the population earns 57% of the national income. Within the top 10%, the very elite top 1% earns 22%. In comparison, the share of the bottom 50% in national income has declined to 13%. The female labor income share is equal to 18%, which is significantly lower than the average in Asia, that is 21%, excluding China. Fourth is impact of COVID-19 pandemic. COVID has led to a worsening of education inequalities, induced labor market scarring, and exacerbated income inequality, which in turn is quite likely to depress social mobility. And impact on education, the ASER 2021 attests the fact that extended closure of schools and the shift to online modes of education has widened the learning gaps between children from poor to affluent households. Younger children from low-income households were more deprived of mediums of learning such as smartphones, tablets, internets, etc. Moreover, over a fourth of children in households with a smartphone could not access it. Now it's time for the practice questions. First of all, prelims based question. With reference to the Gini coefficient, consider the following statements. 1. It can be used to measure the wealth distribution among a population. 2. The score of 0 represents perfect inequality and the score of 1 represents perfect equality. Which of the statements given above is or are correct? 1 only, 2 only, both 1 and 2, or neither 1 nor 2. And now mains question. Due to rising economic inequality and its effects on human well-being and prosperity, the concept of inclusive growth has become central to economic development. Explain. So that's all for today. Stay tuned for the next episode. Thanks for watching.